Welcome to Team High Stakes project for the Hackstars. In this project, we try to find out the impacts of high stake assessment on academic and social trends. The idea is to examine the consequences of high stakes testing on educational system, focus on the effects of high stake tests on students, teachers, parents, and policymakers, and look at how impacts can become linked with funding and policy decisions. Well, what we see over here that every impact or trend will cause a policy change. So for example, a high school graduation rate with a high stake assessment score will cause a policy change such as monetary awards or scholarships for the college tuition are given to performing students. The typical use cases would be overall real-time district level impacts, graduation impacts, high school success dropouts, learning impacts such as motivated and discouraged students, economic and social impacts, and curriculum impacts. In the data and technology strategy, we see that we can have assessment scores from HMH1 APIs, scoring service, identity service, for example, student data, demographic data from HMH1 API and from other external sources, and other data such as linking SAT scores, linking dropouts, and linking university joiners. The HMH business value, of course, is sale of harassment program to districts and schools, sale of additional study material to parents and students, value add to policymakers, and strategic partnership with our vendors. At this point, we will see the demo, which gives us an idea about what are the typical use cases of this effects and impacts on the high stake assessment scores.
Demo, we have a selection criteria on the top, and for simplicity reason, we have kept it with one district, one state, and 12 schools within that district. Especially, we have taken one high performing school within the district to show you some of the use cases. The first use case is the social use case, where we see the score of a high performing school from K to 12, grade 12, and we can see all the bar graphs showing everybody in the school, every grade in the school have performed pretty well in terms of the high stakes assessment. And we have direct correlation between the high performance students and their economic and social condition, as reflected by the pie chart on the left hand side, where we can see that majority of the student comes from a high income group. So there is a definite social impact between the economic background of the student and how they are scoring within the school. The second tab shows us the curriculum use case, which shows us how the behavior of the student in terms of how they have learned and how they have prepared themselves for the high stakes test and whether they have done anything extra. We can see from the left hand side pie chart that majority of the student has taken extra courses or they have gone for coaching. So there is a definite correlation between high performing students and extra time they spend on material that helps them to achieve that high scores. We go into the graduations tab and we'll see that we have taken the 12 schools within the district. The red one marks the school that has performed worst and the green one has performed the best. And if you see the two pie chart on the left hand side, the team that has performed the best shows that the majority of them went and chose courses in the university, whereas the school that have performed the worst have shown that majority of the student has the significant amount of the student has dropped out from before grade 12. So there is a definite correlation between the high performance schools and whether they're taking up university courses or they're dropping out. Finally, the learning tab gives us a view of the motivation of the students. So if we go back to the school, high performance school from K to grade 12, we see that majority of the students are extremely motivated, which gives us a direct correlation between their motivation, impact on their behavior, and the way they are preparing themselves for the courses and for the high stakes exam. So in this demo, we have provided all the majority of the use cases that are that shows us the social and other impacts, greater impacts of scores, the high stakes scores